Hi there, this is Andy from Blessed Man Meditations. Recently, Alex O'Connor from Cosmic Skeptic posted a video containing about 40 arguments for atheism. I have no personal vindictive vendetta against Alex or against any other atheist. I love Alex, and I love all atheists as my fellow people, all created in God's image. But I believe their epistemology is wrong and needs to be responded to. This video will be part of a lengthy series I plan to do in response to each argument Alex makes. So please like this video, comment, and please subscribe. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day.
A new, fast-growing Christian YouTube channel, Redeemed Zoomer, put out a video promisingly called All Atheist Arguments Answered in 10 Minutes. Let's see how he does.
In the Redeemed Zoomer video, the Christian points out that the atheist is against slavery due to Christian influence. Alex responds by implying that the Christian said that people, including Alex, are against slavery. Alex said exclusively due to Christian influence. For one, Redeemed Zoomer never said that anyone is against slavery solely due to Christian influence. Redeemed Zoomer only intimated that Christian influence has played a role in opposition to slavery. Redeemed Zoomer said something very different than to what Alex said. I will give Alex the benefit of the doubt and not accuse Alex of intentionally misquoting Redeemed Zoomer. But atheists like Alex do what Alex does here regularly. They many times will regularly make extreme statements that intentionally misrepresent Christians and strawman the actual Christian position. Alex, hopefully unintentionally here, just strawmanned the Christian position. Because Alex misrepresented the Christian position, the rest of his response to this position of the Redeemed Zoomer video is arguably not even pertinent. Alex asked the Christian to show in the Bible where the Christian can point to for the abolition of slavery. I think Alex makes a mistake here when he forgets that whatever the Bible comments on or legislates is not always condoning what it comments on or legislates. In other responses, I've made the case that the Old Testament actually improved the legislation against slavery compared to other cultures. The Old Testament was an improvement compared to other cultures in the treatment of others. Biblical theism recognized humans are created in God's image and that should therefore be treated with dignity and respect. That's why you have laws commanding masters to treat servants with kindness and dignity and respect, and you have laws for how servants should treat their masters. Yet despite this fact on the theistic worldview, people were still sinful and still engaged in sinful practices. Despite having the law in place, they still engaged in practices that broke that law. They took God's legislation and they didn't care about it. They went and did what they wanted anyway. They broke God's law, and they still do it today. In other ways, people who lived in cultures where slavery existed broke God's laws regulating slavery. So the law was in place to show them what they should do, that they should treat slaves who were a normal part of society back in that day with dignity and respect. And he likewise commanded the slaves to treat their masters with reverence, to perform their tasks well, and the masters had responsibilities toward their slaves. and the slaves had also responsibilities toward their masters. So God made laws and encoded them in the Bible to regulate a practice, in this case slavery, that only originated because man chose to sin against God way back in Genesis 3. The laws were not condoning slavery as much as they were keeping the practice from getting out of hand. Alex also said he could use the Bible to show more examples of the Bible justifying the practice of slavery. Alex and others like him seem to want their listeners to arrive at the conclusion that slavery as we now know it existed because of what the Bible had to say about slavery. And this is just not the case. Alex is just wrong. Alex admitted that today Christians do condemn slavery. Good for Alex for admitting that. Alex said if we could turn back the clock and went back to when slavery actually existed, and we went back and tried to abolish slavery, that the locals of the society that we engaged to try to get slavery abolished, those locals would use the Bible to justify slavery's existence. But it's important to remember that the Levitical system encoded in the Old Testament that contained the laws about slavery and its practice was never meant to be the ideal set of laws for that society or any society since that time. However, the Levitical system was an improvement to other societies that existed at that time. So when Alex says that he and others can and have used the Bible to legitimize, legislate, and condone slavery, it's important to keep in mind that the Old and New Testaments talk about real life as real life transpired in those historical epochs. It was not the point of the Bible to eradicate slavery. The church picked up where the Bible left off, and that led to the eradication of slavery. So it's not the fault of the God of the Bible, or the fault of the Bible that slavery existed and in some places still exists. God has left the church to preach the gospel. The gospel transforms individuals. Individuals make differences within their societies. Some believers even acquire governmental jobs where they can influence the lawmaking process and impact citizens. So it's important to keep these things in mind when we hear Alex and others like him make statements about things like slavery.